taken its toll. Even the production car drivers complained bitterly, and they didn't have half the visual troubles that the special vehicles had experienced in the massive dust clouds that had built up further back. For Bez Bezuidenhout and Johan de Bruin, it was, however, clear enough to be in contention for a podium in Class B. And in Class D, it was ditto for father and son Cliff and Louis Weichelt in their Toyota Hilux, who were setting the pace by just a few seconds after the prologue. And in Class E, it was championship leaders Jack Peckham and Lucio Santoro in the Ford Racing Diesel, who were steaming along. The second Total Motorsport Gymco was in the very capable hands of Naim Musaji and Ryan Bodjana, and had a very solid day one and were consistent, as always, with Toyota's Malcolm Koch and Wayne Brink, who were keeping the men ahead of them honest. While Brian Martin and Oki Fourie, racing in Class E, were just close enough to maintain the pressure on the men ahead of them. After starting 7th overall, the Barlow World Absolute Ford Ranger of Manfred Schroeder and Ward Huxtable was plagued by several small problems, but they were also firmly on their way to the finish line, with Giel Nel and Sandra Labuschagne in the Luke ATE Zarco Truggy in their wake. But at the line, it was the De Bruins who brought it home in 7 hours and 57 minutes. The father and son were ecstatic, even though the Toyota probably wasn't. And after almost 500 kilometers of grueling battle, the men and their machines who made it into the top 10 in the production car stable, with the Nissans fighting 3 of their cars into the top 5, while Ford snuck in 3 into the top 10. In the special vehicle battle, it was even tighter, and the father and son war at the top was going to ensure a special Father's Day present for one happy family at the end of 1,000 kilometers worth of racing.
Vehicle and asset finance from the beaten track to find solutions.
Day 3 of the Toyota Kalahari Botswana 1000 Desert Race, and with another 480 kilometers of racing left to go, there was a lot of tension in the air. Prologue and first day leaders, the De Bruins, were rearing and ready to go.
Tough day, but luckily we've got the dust on our side, and I see the wind's not blowing, so everything is working according to our plan. I still can't believe we're still in front. It's a big achievement for us. Yesterday we had some problems with the gearbox. We've lost second gear. Luckily, Wami gave us a new gearbox last night, and we put it in, and the bucket feels good. I mean, we are out there. We can try to do our best to hold this position.
Surprise special vehicle leader Kali Solwad knew that they would feel the pressure of the rest of the pack bearing down on them.
Definitely a big day for us. A lot of the bigger crews are behind us. First time that we more in front than usual, but looking forward to it. We're used to going into the dust, so at least we've got a 2-minute gap, and that will help us, obviously. But we'll see. It's a long day. The route has been new. It's been for everyone. It's the same battlefield, and that is in our favour. So very tight out there. We'll see. The four-wheel drives are definitely an advantage. So we're not even thinking of looking at the buckets. We're trying to get home because we are still new in the game, actually, so we just try to get home.
For the defending national champion Alfie Cox, this race represented a mark he was still looking for. He'd won here before, but his chances had been lost.
Yeah, look, I mean, there was many factors against the car. You know, it's made out of special material, and, you know, Evan and them were just scared of welding an upper arm in a backyard here somewhere at a place. And sure, I understand if the arm breaks at 180, it's dangerous, and also the car can get damaged. So for me, it's not easy because, you know, you make a plan and get the car going again. You know, we need the points. I mean, anything can happen. You saw yesterday from hero to zero, and, you know, you can be leading this race and then fall out of it. So today we needed the points with the championship. You know, maybe one day this race might win us the championship. Yeah, last year we missed 2 races and we still won the championship, but there's just too many guys out there that are good this year.
And Alfie knows what he's talking about. After all, he's the owner of 23 national titles. But the racing would be tough and hard, and 1 point inevitably does make a difference. The De Bruins had never won a major race such as this on the off-road calendar before, therefore they were in uncharted waters. The Mykarin XL dealer Team Toyota screamed away from the line with the weight of their own expectations and the pressure of the reigning champion Hannes Grobler on them. As for Grobler and his longtime navigator, the mustachioed Francois Jordan, they were ready to do the business. Glyn Hall, the Nissan team manager, and his squad always ensures that the cars are in great nick. Cronier and Birkin were next off, 90 seconds behind the Castrol Toyota, ready to rock and roll again. So were Foss and Leek in the second Nissan Navara. And Mark Corbett and Rudy Balzar's Century Property Development Nissan made it 3 versus 2 in the Japanese manufacturer's battle up front. For Harkes and Moore in the Ford Ranger in 6th place, steady driving was essential. Brandon has a rich racing heritage, and it was only his 4th time out in the production car, but he was clearly relishing the experience. The Sulwalds were through next, and despite an electrical niggle, they were very impressive on a route which never really allowed the specials to let it all hang out. The Castrol Toyota of Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst passed by next, and they were clearly going very well on their way in the Botswana bush. The Harpers, father Nick and son Ryan, were through next after making a strong start in the early morning, but already the dust was a factor, especially so for the special vehicles. Matthews and Smith were also starting with intent and were impressive in the Century Property Development's bat. As for former SA champion Evan Hutchinson and his co-Achim Bergman, well, they only know one way. Fast. Very fast. On day 1, Hutchinson lost more than 5 minutes, but here on day 3, he was probably taking back triple that. For Berthold and Houghton, well, the big man is fearless behind the wheel.